We have an inspiration. Mr. Ajit Balakrishnan is with us. I need a big round of applause. Please come on.
Okay, not to worry. I think practically the hall is practically deserted. I can see it. Things have been so I love speaking to deserted halls, and so I wanted to. I will not take as long as all the others have done. I'll try and finish it in about 10 minutes. What I want you to have is, what are the key steps in an entrepreneur's life? Very briefly, I'm going to take no more than 10 minutes. Typically, what really happens is, you go through initial enthusiasm before a startup, it rises, then the reality sets in and starts dipping. During the time you experiment and pivot, then it starts working, then you go up again. So many young entrepreneurs lose heart at any step of this world. You can lose your start. In all these slides, I've given the link at the bottom where you can go and read more about it. I also want to point out that sometimes you're an entrepreneur, you do very well, and something unknown to you and external to you comes in. Here's a case in point. In about 2 years or 3 years after I started, the whole financial community in the world ran after me, and we did a very successful IPO in the United States on NASDAQ. So that's me posing in front of NASDAQ in New York. But shortly afterwards, I was standing in my office in New York briefly. I had a branch office there, and I heard a loud noise. When we went out and looked, attack of a plane on the World Towers had taken place. The New York World attack. And after that, the whole world collapsed at that time. And the stock market in New York and so on, which was at a peak at the time, completely collapsed. The point I'm making is, as an entrepreneur, you have to be ready for things which are completely outside your control. So something in the environment happens, like right now the threat is the United States is going through severe financial troubles. So they're putting import duties and this and tariffs and what have you. During that time, something happens and your young startup can get affected, so be very careful, don't give up. Something happened to the presentation. Yeah, another quick note for entrepreneurs is, even if all the benches here are empty, but I'm leaving this slide behind so you can forward it to your friends. The kind of technological change taking place during my early days with Rediff.com. When we started in 1994, the only cell phone available was this, which is called IBM Personal Communicator, 1994. And I built Rediff Mail on this one. And then it quickly changed to the start. Nokia launched a personal communicator and smartphone. And then Steve Jobs and that gang imported iPhone, everything's on touch. And then Android and from Chinese smartphones appeared. So, when these dramatic changes happen as an entrepreneur, you keep on changing, making sure that you're keeping up with all the new things. Right now, there is something of that kind. You must remember also, one of the biggest challenges for an entrepreneur is that we have a very small group of what is called early adopters. In places like Silicon Valley, you put an idea and every day about 20,000 new people will come and try it. In India, you come with a dramatically different technical idea. It will take you about 2 years for even 1,000 people to come and try it. So you've got to watch out very, very carefully. We have to do something at the policy level to change it. I'm working with people in Delhi on that. But right now, we have a very tiny market for technology products, okay? If you look at the household where people who are like you and me, educated in English and managerial, so there are only 30 million people in this country. People professional and technical, there are only 50 million. You look at the bottom, The vast 420 million are farmers, fishermen, hunters, loggers. And this is never talked about in many of the plans that make out. So you have to be very, very careful on how to, to deal. And the household income per month is very different from what they make out. This is the reality, and it is also from National Council of Applied Economic Research, so it's truthful. So watch out, be very careful. And this is a quick thing to say that technology change that we are all going through now is not anything new. We have, for example, in the 1800s, there was a factory system, affordable clothing, child labor. A plus point was affordable clothing. Okay, the negative point was child labor and urban blight. And the other negative point was the whole handloom industry in India and so on got destroyed. Then there were steel, rails and ship that created affordable transport, world trade and urbanization, but it also brought slave trade and colonialism. Okay? Then came electricity, auto and petrochem, affordable clothes, fertilizers, pharmaceuticals, but then all kinds of, the Bombay textile mills collapsed, the Bengal jute mills collapsed and caused Naxalism. Naxalism was caused by the collapse of the jute mills. Very few people discuss it. And finally, computers and internet. I think affordable healthcare, insurance law, etc. But we are being threatened that medical doctors and others soon will not be able to make a living. So there is a balance between the two, which you must watch out for. I'll skip that. I'll skip that to save time. The main thing I would like to leave among network, rather for entrepreneurs and for our policymakers. I don't see any of them, but if you find any of them, just send the slide to them. The important thing is what succeeds on the internet is something called network effects. Okay? It is not like economies of scale. Network effects, and the way it works is when you start doing something, when there are more buyers and you sell it cheap enough, more others will come and more sellers will accept you. Which is the reason why people like Amazon, for example, in India, I think that last year the losses Amazon made is some 29,000 crores or something like that. But you know what? Book lovers like me go and buy. You can buy any book for about 200 rupees or 300 rupees, so become very faithful to Amazon. But he's building up a fantastic group. Facebook similarly loses a huge amount of money in India. So there is a financial lobby which funds them from New York and Silicon Valley, so that they fund the losses till you destroy everybody else in that industry. And it creates network effects, so please study that. Today, I think we are moving into a fundamental change in computing. There is personal cloud, human to AI computing methods are forming, and you have seen that dramatically. And no-code platforms and computing methods, soon you don't need to write any code. You can either just describe the problem you want to solve and it creates a code for you. Now, all this is tremendously valuable, but you'll find that many of the entry-level coding jobs will also disappear. But everything else, it makes it coding very easy. I'll skip that too. I think just do one step back, just one step back. This is something which all young entrepreneurs or even middle-aged guys need to think about. It is from that famous book by Erik Erikson on stages of life. You have to, when you're a young adult, for example, you have to figure out, how do I make my life count? What will I do something useful to my life? And when people like me, I'm 77 this year, I ask myself, is it okay to have been me? Have I lived the right life? And the answer can't be because I made 1,000 crores, I've lived the right life. It cannot be. You have to see, what have I done? Have I done the right thing in life? Have I helped enough people? You have to make those choices. I call myself, though I live in Bombay and for the last 50 years, in my mind, I still think myself as a Kannur boy. I was brought up there up to high school, and my parents and grandparents all lived there. Where to be, I have to I walk on Payambalam beach in Kannur and ask myself, is it okay to have been me? And I'm struggling to understand and do, at least in what is left of my life, to do enough things to say, yes to myself, but I have not yet convinced myself, okay? Thank you very much. I think I don't want to... No, I didn't say, there's one slide which promotes me, and I need to... Hi. Okay, these are some books that I'd like to read. Network Science, it's an excellent book. The Innovator's Dilemma, every entrepreneur must read that, okay? And The Wave Riders, which is something I've written before. And this book that I've written is about to come out, Technological Innovation, Sword or Plow, Lessons from History for Entrepreneurs, Policymakers, and Thinking People. So I thought I could not leave without one slide of self-promotion, okay? Thank you very much.